Welcome to Find Your Fortitude, episode 2. I started this so I could do something motivational, inspirational, and help people on another platform. And it's tough to kind of see how things came full circle with this in my relationship, which I'll get to. But I never liked social media, and I never in a million years thought I'd be doing my own podcast to explain my relationship to people. And at first I wasn't. It's been about 2 weeks now. I wasn't gonna say anything, and as soon as something's out there, especially on social media, it's out there. And it turns into he said, she said, and this just sucks. This is just awful. But I had a good conversation this morning about I'm not doing this, or I'm not telling people my side of things because I want everybody to be on my side, or people that I don't know or don't even like me. I don't care. This isn't for their opinions. This is for me, and this is for my brand. This is for my mom who raised me. This is for me. This is for my friends and my family, and this is for everybody who follows me and who's inspired by me for one reason or another, for something that I've been through. And they see me and they see how I've gone through things, and it helps them. And that's why I do what I do, and that's why I love it. And this isn't to bash anyone. This isn't to blame anyone for what's happened. This isn't to say that I'm perfect and I'm the best boyfriend. I'm far from it. This is just to give a little glimpse into how things ended and how it destroys me to see how hurt Elena was or is, and to see things that are being said about me. So I guess I'll just jump into it then. I didn't move to Texas to hang out or continue a friendship. Like I came down because I was in love with Elena, and I wanted to start a family, start a life with her. And it was far from a fairy tale, as she said. And that was always a problem for me. I'm Mr. Positivity, right? I don't wanna dwell on negatives. And she made it very clear on podcasts, lives, Instagram, with people, our life is far from a fairy tale. It is, but hearing it doesn't help. And it's been very difficult for me to keep who I am, because my brand and relationship and values and certain characteristics and traits get commingled, and it's tough to keep them separate, especially with social media. It's tough for everybody wants to associate one thing with another. Whether that's right or wrong, that's not really for me to say. So I bit my tongue on a lot of things. I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of with Elena, and without Elena on social media. That's just not me. That's not who I am. And it was a great relationship. Like wanted to be with her forever. I'm a very emotional person, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and it was very clear, whoever does follow us on social media, like the transition from being in the house to me being on social media with her to the last couple months. It was very rocky relationship. We broke up so many times. I should say I broke up because I would tell her, I just can't do this. I can't fight, I can't. And that wasn't right for me to just keep kind of treating our relationship like it could be so easily thrown away. And we tried to get help, and I could never stand my ground with her. I couldn't. Because when she shows her tough side, then I can show my tough side. And like we'll butt heads a lot. But man, when she opens up and she shows that sweet side, it didn't matter how mad I was or how valid of a point I thought I had. I just couldn't see her sad. So I just did whatever I could to make her happy. And probably not the healthiest way to be in a relationship and actually work through things, if you can even call them working through things. But I mean, there's no book. Like my favorite, I think it's a book, but my favorite book is like 7 Ways of Love or something. And it's just how everybody gives and receives love differently. And people communicate differently. People hold things back differently. And you just I'm just like replay a million things that could have been different, or I wish she could have seen my point of view, or I should have done this differently. And it's just tough because I was happy when she was happy. It was really that simple for me. I was happy when she was happy. And so with that mindset and with that perspective of mine, hearing constantly that it's not a fairy tale and I'm far from Prince Charming, it's just a gut shot. And it's just it was like, why am I trying so hard? Like, why? Like, clearly, like, nothing's working. So we'd go through cycles, and I'd go through cycles of, okay, Mark, we got this. Start fresh. Just show her how much you love her, how much you appreciate her, and make her feel like she's the only girl in the world. And I would just start doing it, just building momentum. Like I always talk about in fitness and health, just momentum. And then something would happen where I get discouraged, and I'd hold out, and I'd just keep trying to push through before I just gave in. And I noticed over time that window of me pushing through and giving in got shorter and shorter, and it would just completely, the patience would be non-existent. I mean, to love someone so much, and to put their happiness above everything, above my values, above my friendships, family in certain situations, and just to hear constantly how and to see constantly how it just wasn't good enough. And I'm not saying she didn't do sweet things and she didn't make me feel appreciated, because she did. It was, but it was just the ups and downs and the internal fight I had with myself, with how hard do I keep trying, because the harder I try, the more I get hurt. The less I try, I don't get hurt as much. So for like, if we go a week and I'm not really doing all these sweet romantic things, and then we do a podcast or we're with friends and all she's talking, and she just brings up, oh, he's not, this relationship's so difficult, like, I wouldn't care. But if I'm doing all these things and I still hear that, and I'm not trying to say like she would say sweet things. It was just, it killed me. So, and it was cycles. It would one, just like a little fight would just blow up and turn into a bigger fight. And it was, our issues wouldn't get resolved. It would just spiral into something else. And that was on both of us. I mean, all our issues were on both of us. There was nothing that was one-sided. It was, I loved her so much, and I didn't want to give up. So as we got help and I started seeing in myself, like, in the moment and in these events, like, I know I can't keep doing this. I can't. I'm like, nothing's working and I need to get out. And then we'd calm down and she'd show me that sweet side of her, and nothing mattered. I didn't think about why we just fought. I didn't think about how I just felt. All I thought about was, this is why I love you. But that there's no way that can be healthy, to get to a point of basically threatening a relationship to see a certain side of somebody. And I honestly don't even know if this is making sense. I wanted to just talk about the end, but I kind of had to give a little backstory. And I truthfully hope this helps some people in their relationship that are caught up in cycles and stuff, that, I mean, you gotta break the cycle. And what I really realized, like so many things in life, without putting in real work, and we did put in work, not nearly enough clearly, but people just, they don't want to make a change, and they just hold on to this small hope that something's gonna miraculously change and everything's gonna be how they envision it. And I just realized I was living in a fantasy world more than I was reality. And like, I go through Instagram, none of the pictures are there right now, but it was like, all those captions was what I was feeling in the moment. Like, it was never fake. Like, it was what I was feeling in the moment. And then, like, I remember, like, there was a point where I wanted to post a cute picture of us, and I'm like, hey, can you come up with a cute caption? And that's not me. Like, I come up with, like, cheesy stuff left and right. And it's not that I wasn't happy in the moment, it's just, the ups and downs take a toll on you. And so, I mean, so the ups and downs, it was going on since I went back to Buffalo last summer for 2 months, hoping that would change, hoping us being apart in space and me being home again. And it was tough for me to be down here with no outlets in the sense of going to my grandparents, going to my cousins to talk, going to having friends, like true friends, like real friends that I could go hang out with and just talk to and just vent. And I mean, I could do it on the phone, but it just got to a point where all I was hearing was, hey Mark, you're that miserable, or you're fighting that much, just come home. And it's just like, I couldn't even like have a real conversation anymore, because it's like, I know what the answer is gonna be, and it's just, I didn't have anything down here. Elena was all I had. like Elena was all I had. So I felt like alone a lot, and that's why I work so hard on Mark Jansen Fitness and my app and podcasts and trying to do side projects here and there, because it would just keep me busy. And so I mean, like I said, that was going back to last summer, and it's tough, but now we're like getting to why I wanted to do this. When I started this podcast, I wanted to start this podcast back when we got cut from the race over the summer, and Elena didn't support it in this sense. And Elena's very supportive of what I do, and she always cared. But you know, the podcasting wanted to be her thing, and didn't matter how hard I tried to explain. I just wanted to be on as many platforms as possible, and YouTube's great for me, but there's a very high chance that just one or two people are gonna search my podcast or hear my podcast through something else, and it's just good to be on multiple platforms, especially if your business is on social media, and if you like with my app and everything, and just reaching people. Again, it's just reaching people and sharing my story. So I wanted to do this app back in the summer. Do the podcast back in the summer. And you know, it's hard because you want to do something that'll make you happy, but what did I say at the beginning? That I wanted anything I could do to make her happy, I would. So I put it on the back burner. Then I came back from the summer, and you know, we were doing good. Like, we had our good times, bad times, ups and downs. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I want to do a podcast. I know you're working on your podcast. I want to do something. I don't want to steal your spotlight. Like yours is gonna be a freaking podcast. Mine's gonna be recorded from my phone. Try to figure out what a Zoom is. Push play, upload, whatever. And it wasn't the reaction I was hoping for from somebody that I love so much. So the new year, I really set out to just really be a different person all around in everything that I do. I mean, waking up earlier, eating healthier, fully, more routinely, being on a better routine with everything. Yoga, more meditation, get Pilates. I need my flexibility for what I want to do. I need to start reading more. It's just everything. And obviously I needed us to be better for our relationship, so I could have a little of everything. Not a little of everything, but like just everything would fit together. Because it's not that much fun when all your business stuff's a success and your relationship's not. It's really not that much fun, and it's not that much fun when your relationship's awesome but business isn't that great. But I'll tell you what, I would have traded this entire past year for a good relationship, for a healthy, strong relationship, and sacrifice my app. You know, I still want to do MJ Fitness, but if I didn't have the app right now, okay. I just wanted us to be happy so bad, but we weren't. And this year it was just, and I even kept because I was just keeping track of everything, and it was like the second or the third, and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. It was just fight, and I would just have a checkbox for every day. Was it a fight? Like, were we good that day, or was it a fight, or are we still fighting about a fight, or is it just a sad day, or this day, or what's going on? Like, am I happy to be around here? Check or no check? And the checkbox for the fighting, it was just check, and it was tough. And our lease was up at the end of January, and it was just so many fights that we just couldn't even figure out what we wanted to do, because she started spending more time at home, because the fights were just like they were just so more frequently, and just so unhealthy. And so we got into a big fight, and the end of January, and that was our first break. That was our first. This was before the Super Bowl, and this was when the podcast was started. This was where I told her I don't know what to do anymore. I've tried everything. I don't know, and that's when we wanted a break. So she was at home for, I think it was 4 days, Wednesday to Sunday, I think it was Wednesday to Sunday, and it was that time where I'm just like, I can't keep putting her first. So I started the podcast, and I remember distinctly on the podcast, on the first episode, so I didn't do the podcast when I launched it through the RSS feed on Apple. I did it when I uploaded the YouTube. I uploaded the YouTube video the same day. And I said I was at peace. And I was at peace in the sense because I was finally realizing that I need to be worrying about me. I need to be worrying about, I want to do this podcast for me. And it felt so good to do. And then of course after the podcast I felt great, and it was a project. It kept me distracted a couple hours, got everything uploaded, got everything submitted through Apple. And then I broke down that night, and I'm like, man, we've been gone 3 days and we haven't spoken. We haven't spoken in 3 days, right? And I say this because of what happens when we really break up, and I'm down here all alone. I'm here all alone, and I would try to tell her that all the time. And it didn't really seem to click. And so we worked it out, and I broke up again after I did the podcast, and I'm just like, 3 days go by and you don't talk to me. And her reaction, very valid response was, well, you didn't text me. You're right. I didn't. I didn't reach out. Again, I was stubborn. I felt she should have reached out first for the fight, and she probably felt the same. So she came home and it was sweet, and I just, like I said, when I see that sweet side, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And just being down here for so long, like I said, just her, she was my main focus, and it was like, it was tough because when she wasn't happy, I wasn't happy, regardless of my mindset and all my positivity. It just hurt. And beyond loyal, beyond faithful for when I was with her. And that's why these rumors floating around make me sick. And to know that she put him out there, kills me. And that's why I'm sitting here. So that was the week before the Super Bowl with the podcast. And the Super Bowl came the next week, and I was like, it was like Super Bowl day. Like, when it comes to football, it doesn't matter what work's going on. Like, Sundays are my day off. Like, I love football. I love watching football, and I'm like, it's Super Bowl. Let's go get some food. Let's go over to a friend's house. And she struggled that day because she was gluten-free and couldn't have what people were making. And I felt awful. I'm like, I should have thought about this, even though typically I would just pick you up a meal and you don't even eat that much, but now I feel bad. So this is one of those days where it's like, you know what, Mark? Super Bowl is great, and I know I want to just do all my football stuff and just sit on the couch, watch the pregame, and just enjoy football. But this is going to be, even though all our ups and downs, this is going to be where this will be another fresh start. And I spent 2 hours at the grocery store looking up recipes and gluten-free snacks, picking up flowers. And I'm like, okay. So then we go over to their house and I make her some stuff and she has all her gluten-free snacks and it's a great day. And it's a great day. And everything, and now it's just like, in my mind, I just want to keep building on it. And my patience is, like I said, all the ups and downs with the fighting, my patience is not there. So after the Super Bowl that week, a fight started because of this podcast. Because I started the podcast the week or two before, the week before. And I'm not gonna get into what was said, but it hurt me. It was like, man, I don't want the girl that I love. Why are you saying this stuff about what I'm doing? And it hurt a lot. And I was sad, and a day or two went by where we didn't really talk. And we're supposed to be looking for houses, and it's just, so I was hoping she'd come to me and acknowledge what was said, and she didn't. And so I came to her to express my feelings, which I didn't really do that much because I was so laid back and I'd let things go, because I knew she loved me. So there were very few things that truly upset me, besides just not making her happy. But so I addressed it. I'm like, hey, the way we spoke, the way you spoke to me about what I'm doing, and I just didn't like it. Like, I'm opening up. And all her response was, why didn't like you starting a podcast? Now, I know everybody's different emotionally and you weren't there, and I don't know, but when you go to somebody that you love and you tell them that you're sad and they don't care because they have their own things, it's a gut shot and it kills. And this fight was different in the sense that this isn't a miscommunication. This isn't something small turning into something big. This is, now you basically want me to hold myself back in business and in my growth and helping people to make you feel better. And that I couldn't get over, especially when I tried to talk about it, and the only response I got was, well, I didn't like that you did it in the first place. And and I could understand that, but that's a different conversation. You know, you hurt my feelings, and let's talk about that. And so, and I remind you, this is like 10 days after the last break, and that break was like the first real break we had where we're just like, we're not talking to each other. Like, you go there and I'll be here alone as always. Like, I'll be home alone. But go have fun with your friends and take your mind off of things while I'm home. That was 10 days before. And that shit for me doesn't go away. Like, even though I'm focused on the good, I still need time to, like, I need momentum. I need things to just stay good instead of all the ups and downs. And that fight this was the one fight where it was, when she finally did get sad about everything, I didn't care. I didn't care because for the first fight that we've had, I didn't put her feelings first. And so we were supposed to look at houses that Friday, and man, the fight just escalated. And I tried to call on her all day, because I just want to talk to her. I'm like, she's upset, I can't do this. And she wasn't answering my calls. And she's at her place, or she's at home, and I'm here. And then I don't know what happened. I was at the gym trying to get my mind out of things, and I just broke down. I mean, I was in the gym and just started crying. And like I said before, I don't text my friends, I don't text my cousins, because I know what the answer is going to be. Just come home. If you're that sad, just come home. Like, the fights are nonstop. And I just opened up, and I just called them, texted some of my best friends, my cousin, and I'm just like, what am I doing? I can't keep doing this. And forget what exactly we talked. I don't think we spoke that night, or I kind of, no, I think, like, I did tell her, I'm like, I think she finally responded, and she's like, it's funny how you wanted to talk all day and now you don't. And I was like, because I gotta get out of the cycle, you know? And before we left that Friday, again, it ended in a breakup. I said, I'm gonna look for my own place. She's like, well, good, I'm looking for my own place. And it just turned into a full-blown breakup. We're like nasty. But it's happened before. But we've never gone without talking. You know, in a couple hours we start talking, and this one was different. And I texted her, and it was over. It was over, and I sent a text that weekend saying I'm gonna look for my own place. I just need a break. I need to focus on me. And I've never said that before. Like in a breakup, when like our little breakups, like it's a breakup. It gets heated and then it's over. We calm down. This one was different. This one I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. And I basically have said everything so you guys can understand. When she hears that, she doesn't know what to do and she just wants to talk in person, right? So she comes over that weekend and she talks in person. And I can't stress this enough. Regardless of how bad a fight was or how valid I thought my feelings were, up until that day, when she got sad and I saw that sweet side, everything for me went out the window. And I think she knew something was different soon. I just remember sitting there and I told her, because she wanted me to expand on what I meant by break, like what it was, and I told her, I don't want to focus on you. I don't want to focus on us. I want you to go do whatever you want to do for a couple months. I was thinking like doing a 3-month lease. I'm like, do whatever you want to do. And she wanted to dictate the break and was like, well, I only want to take a break if we're working on us and you're focused on us and your main goal is us at the end. And I looked at her and I said, I can't do that. I can't put you first or even put you at all. Worry about you at all anymore. I've been selfless for this past year plus, sacrificed so much, and I can't do it anymore. And she asked me what if these 3 months something happens and I resent you for wanting a break and giving up on us. And I said, Lane, at this point, I don't care if I lose you. I don't care. I need to get out of this cycle. I can't do this anymore. And then she's never heard that before. So she left. When she left the house to get her stuff, and she left the next day. And it was done. It was done, and seeing how sad she was, and we were gonna talk the next weekend because we're influencers and we live in the social media age, and we do have followers and people want to know, and so we'll discuss things next weekend, the weekend after Valentine's Day, about how we're gonna proceed with all of this. And she left, and I needed to do whatever I could not to call her and not to get in that cycle. So I got on Tinder And I'm not proud of it, and it's so stupid, and that's a huge reason why I am so focused on working on me now, because it's been so long. It's been there's 100 reasons why, and I've never truly been alone in my life, and I don't know how to handle it. And like some of my friends are like, dude, you lost both your parents. Like, why does being alone scare you? Because even though I lost my parents, I was never alone. I went with family, and I had school, and then I got obsessed with the gym and had basically a huge gym family. And now I'm in a state all by myself, very few associates, more so than friends, and I just need to get my mind off of Marlena, and I was with somebody that week, and in the moment I was just selfish and didn't think at all about Elena's feelings or if she found out or this or that, and I just wanted to do whatever I could as fast as I could to just start the process of moving on and just focusing on me. And so we were going to talk that weekend, but she wanted to talk on Valentine's Day, and she was doing things, like after she left, she was doing these sweet things, notes, texts, gifts, which truthfully, like that week, which truthfully just hurt me so much more, because I'm like, the things you're saying, like you're saying, I'm here all alone, and you're really worried about me. But what happened just 2 weeks ago when I was here all alone during a break? You didn't care. You didn't say anything. And it was so, just seeing that she was aware of all those things, it just hurt me and pushed me that much farther away and wanted me to move on that much faster. And so she ended up coming over Valentine's Day, because I never told her you can't stay here. We both paid rent, and I said, this is a big house. If you want to stay here, we'll figure it out. I mean, it's not going to be as comfortable. We have the end of the month, and she didn't want to stay here because it would just not be comfortable. We're not together. So she came over Thursday to get some stuff, and didn't want to wait till the weekend to talk, and she was very concerned about me, and I didn't have any, I didn't talk to her at all that week, and so I didn't want to tell her, because I knew it would just destroy her, that it took me a couple of days to be with somebody else after the 1.5 years plus that we shared together, and but she just kept talking about how she wanted to fight for us, and you don't give up, and I was so far past any of that. And I knew, and when I was with her the weekend before talking to her, I told her all that. I was numb. I was emotionally broken. As she's told people, yes, on Valentine's Day when I was honest with her and I told her, because she didn't think I was serious. And so she was heartbroken. Her heart did shatter that day. But my heart has slowly been just getting chipped at and chipped at and chipped at. And the weekend before, when I told her I was done and I wanted to focus on me and be alone, that was, my heart broke. Just at a much slower pace. And so that was the worst part, having to tell her on Valentine's Day. And then to see the cheating stuff come out like that night. I didn't cheat on you, Elena. And if I did, why would you still have me in your memories on Instagram? Why would you still want to work things out? Why would you want me to still fight for you? And to see, new friends I've had since Big Brother, to see how they react after hearing something so freaking one-sided, which just, it pisses me off more than anything, because I know the type of guy that I am. Like, you see on social media, like, this isn't just like an act for, since you guys met me on Big Brother and, oh hey, surprise, I'm gonna cheat. Like, that's not me. And to see how people have treated me since, and it hurts. And I'm not proud at all of how I handled the situation, how I handled that last week, and I wish I would have just went to Buffalo that week and just drove back. I don't know what the future holds for us. All I know is I need to and want to just focus on me, and just, I need to grow on my own, and I have a lot of reflecting to do. And like I said, I lost myself this past year plus, and I lost who I was, and I need to find that. And there's two sides to every story, and this in no way was to blame Marlena for anything. This was for everybody who follows me to be inspired, or to help them want to become a better person. No, I'm not perfect. I'm not a cheater. I don't handle things the best way, and I'm working on that. I have a lot of growing to do, and I hope this helps you, whoever's listening, whoever may be going through the same thing, that it's okay not to be perfect. You have to accept what you have to work on. And if you're in a relationship, you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for the other. And if you feel like it's not reciprocated, it hurts more than words can possibly explain. I'll address the whole Nick situation on another podcast, and that's just, it's funny on so many levels. And I just can't believe this is what Marlena has come to, and it's gonna be hard for me to get through this. But when I hear fans and true followers of my brand and what I stand for message me and reach out about questions and how could I really do this, I didn't. If I could redo the last, after we broke up and I told her I needed to be alone, if I could make different decisions, I would, but I can't change that. And she'll say her story, and it just kills me that she wants everything that I did for her. And she was okay with telling people this. And I think it hit me when I finally looked at her page. And it was her friends that were commenting. And Elena just left them there. Because it's one thing to vent to your friends and tell your side of it and just be angry at stuff. But I couldn't imagine my friends going on social media and attacking the girl that I love, even if it's been a rocky relationship or bad. And it's a side I didn't think of that I'd see from her. And it is what it is, but I truly hope, if anything you've taken from this, even if you have no idea who Marlena is or who Big Brother is or who I am, just listening, I hope this helps you in one way or another with your relationship. And it took me a couple weeks to find my fortitude, but I never gave up. I just kept waiting to gain the strength to talk and not break down thinking about it and talking about it. Fortitude is a beautiful thing, man, and when you can truly have that in your life, no matter what comes your way, just to show fortitude, it's a game changer. But that is my side, so I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll be back to talk about my man Nicky Lowe.